Good morning.
Good morning.
For those of you who do not know me, I am Lee Wilderman, and I'm a senior here at Penn. Welcome to the second annual Daniel Hand High School mid-year celebration. Mr. Salutary regrets not being able to attend today's event as he is attending a meeting with all the SEC principals in Hamden. He hopes that everyone enjoys the beach donuts and juice at the end of the reception. Similar to a year ago, we will have the pleasure of hearing two of our schoolmates and one of our teachers speak during this year's event. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our first student speaker. Please join me in welcoming one of our seniors, Claire Hennessy, to the podium.
Good morning, Daniel Hand. Today's quote of the day concerns accomplishments. Congrats, you made it halfway through the year and now get to eat beach donuts. And that was by Claire Hennessy. If you don't recognize my voice because you don't listen to the morning announcements, you now have to listen to me for the next 3 minutes. When Mr. Salutary asked me to speak in front of 1,200 people, I thought to myself, what's the big deal? I do that every day. Now that I'm up here, I realize that seeing all 1,200 faces makes the number a little more intimidating. To my brother Patrick and the freshmen and his fellow freshmen, I want you to find your failures. Yes, Patrick, I just embarrassed you on purpose. Now, has anyone heard of Yes Theory?
Yes, I have.
For those of you who don't know, it's a YouTube channel that I didn't discover until last year, but their motto, to seek discomfort, is something that I wish I heard as a freshman. I was so utterly scared of failing that when my Rice Krispie Treat dinosaur that I made for bio fell apart for the first time and 4 times after that, I completely flipped out. While this may seem like a silly failure, trust me, it was insurmountable at the time. In order to find success, you need to fail. Now is your chance to explore a path that interests you. Step outside your comfort zone, take a harder class, try out for a sport, audition for a part in the musical, join a club where you don't know anyone, and make the decision to build a dinosaur out of Rice Krispie Treats. To the sophomores, find your true friends. You're currently in limbo between being new and being totally stressed out, at least hopefully. Now is your time to find your friends who will bring you an Ashley's milkshake when you get your wisdom teeth out, the friends who will watch psychological thrillers with you even though you're all scared out of your minds, and the friends who will go with you to a Civil War graveyard in the pouring rain to complete a scavenger hunt by yours truly, L. Pags. High school can be hard. You will have homework, projects, SATs, Common App essays, and more, but your friends will make it all worth it. To the juniors, you're now halfway through arguably the most difficult year of high school. Now is your time to find your confidence because it doesn't exactly get easier from here. My confidence came in the form of the geometric quilt hanging next to the door in Mrs. Grohl's classroom. I'm not entirely sure how this superstition began, but for the last 2 years, I've touched this quilt for some instant confidence. While part of me believes the quilt does have some magical powers, I know we have to give ourselves a little credit for the hard work that we put in. As juniors, you'll be making decisions for your future soon. Trust yourself, for you have worked hard so far. Find your quilt. No, seriously, go touch that quilt. And find confidence in yourself as you become the leaders of Hand. To my fellow seniors, identify who you appreciate and what you value doing. I know I can speak for all of you when I say that I'm both excited and nervous for what our future holds. We must remember that our time in high school is not over yet, so live in the moment while it lasts. So many people have helped us get to where we are today. I find appreciation in doing what I love from Mr. Gage, and it doesn't hurt that he's taken us to the movie theaters, Disney, and New Orleans during school. I find appreciation for learning to challenge myself and experience the amazing reward of 100% completed pie from Mrs. Tibbetts, and for the almost always consistent Film Fridays from Madame. Once we all find appreciation for the support of our teachers, coaches, and adults in our lives, we need to find appreciation in our friends. Whether we're driving by the water and singing on the top of our lungs, or crying and laughing until we cry, we have shared our favorite memories with our friends over the last 4 years. I appreciate the feeling of being the first class to run 2 times through the gym before finally taking our thrones in the left section during the pep rally, and of being the best student section in the state. Finally, we must remember the failures we have learned from, the friends we made memories with, the confidence we found in ourselves, and the opportunity our future holds. Have a great rest of the year, Daniel Hand.
Thank you, Claire. And now, please join me in welcoming senior Kevin Girardi to the podium.
Girardi.
Thank you, Lee. Good morning, everyone. Congratulations on making it halfway through the school year. Freshmen, how do you feel about having to do that 7 more times? I first want to give a special thanks to caffeine, because without you, caffeine, I would not be standing up here right now. All kidding aside, there are numerous teachers, coaches, parents, and classmates that we all have to thank for the success we've achieved at Daniel Hand. We are really lucky to have many people here at Hand who are rooting for us. There are so many great teachers at Hand who believe in us and have our best interests in mind, both in and out of the classroom. Many of us play sports, instruments, participate in clubs, or other activities where we find mentors who reach out to us and help us become better people. And we're also lucky to have each other, because over and over my classmates have made school interesting and entertaining. It is so important to thank whoever it may be that has helped us achieve. This is my 4th mid-year celebration, and it has not been a completely smooth road here. That's high school for you. Let's be honest with ourselves. There are going to be nights where you're up past midnight. Maybe you're doing homework, maybe you're watching Netflix. There are going to be days where you can't seem to pick your head up in class because you're so tired. There are going to be days, very many for me, where you're sprinting through the parking lot around 7:25 trying to avoid that pesky third tardy. But that's what makes high school itself a great teacher. You learn how to grow up. High school turns you into an adult, both literally and figuratively. It's been a long time since we seniors entered those doors as 14 or 15-year-olds. I mean, that feels like ages ago. We were still playing Flappy Bird on our phones back then. Most of us seniors are now 18 years old. We've been in high school for close to a quarter of our lives. You learn so much and change so much, both in and out of the classroom in 4 years of high school. As civil rights leader, and the man whose Saturdays are dedicated to, W.E.B. Du Bois once said, "Education must not simply teach work, it must teach life." So even if you don't walk out of Daniel Hand knowing how to integrate vectors using the Dell operator, thank you, Mr. Edwards, I promise that Daniel Hand has and will teach you much more than just textbook information. Throughout our lives, we will always carry the lessons we've learned in high school. Thank you, and good luck to everyone the rest of the year.
Thank you, Kevin. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the faculty speaker for today's event, one of our school's world language teachers, Mr. Hibbert.
See, the funny thing is, some of you seniors weren't going to come down here, and I was going to be really aggravated, so thanks for showing up. I see you. Hola, buenos dias. I think that one of my students actually complained to Mr. Salutary about all the oral presentations I've had him do over the last 3 years in front of class, and so here I am in front of you on this exciting morning, so thanks a lot, Jake. Anyway, in the best book ever written by Dr. Seuss, entitled "And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street," a dad expects that his son Marco, no, not you, really, you're famous enough, will have to tell him about the extraordinary day he lives as a part of his normal life. Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see. But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me and sternly says, "Your eyesight's much too keen." Stop telling such outlandish tales. Stop turning minnows into whales. Marco, unable to find inspiration from his full day at school, makes his way home via Mulberry Street, prepared to unload yet another imaginary tale. There was so much to tell, I just couldn't begin. Dad looked at me sharply and pulled at his chin. Was there nothing to look at? No people to greet? Did nothing excite you or make your heart beat? Nothing, I said, growing red as a beet, but a plain horse and wagon on Mulberry Street. Well, we know that Marco doesn't come to Daniel Hand because his inability to pull excitement from his normal day should be really surprising to us. I understand that we can't have it all figured out like John Clyde, who's found his Frisbee, or Jasko, who's found her Trippy, or Andresito with his Kendrick Lamar. No Kendrick for you, Emily Aguas. You are cut off, senorita. But we can certainly find or be inspired to find things that excite us, make our hearts beat, or cause us to be grateful about this school community. Girls in the crowd begin to wonder how much longer it's going to be until class when Beecher walks through the door. Nurse Kate greets you with her, "Hi, honey." Anthony, the custodian, serenades us with another throwback tune, and the van vibrates walls during the wake-up call. As I wait during my hall duty to catch Madison's next great vapor, I hear math flying against the walls in Mr. Birdsall's room. Miss Johnson helps her students make such delicious food that you actually consider licking the air. Robots throw balls during pep rallies. Students learn how to save lives, and smiling choir kids run around a cafeteria singing songs that give you goosebumps. Have you seen those Richmond boys dance? Mrs. Stott and Miss Mancini do so many things in a day, you wonder if they are part robot. And Mr. Sidlecki, as much as we're going to miss him, shows us that you can live your dream. The art exhibition leaves you in awe. Sports teams capture one trophy after another, and language teachers send you off to your English classes speaking in Spanish, Chinese, French, or Latin. Is that actually a spoken language or not, Mr. Brine? Want to go somewhere you haven't heard of since a 6th grade geography bee? I bet Mr. Glasser already has a trip approved to take you there. Mrs. Heller organizes your lives for seemingly 1 million different colleges, and special education teachers in Paris give you individualized support like none other. Northrop, Englehart, come back from Jupiter and Venus. Farrell, stop looking for that invisible insect on the floor. This may be the most important part. You see, our school actually does have a heartbeat, and we are the producers of that beat, and there's nobody that can take that from us. While we search for our beautiful Beyonce, while we look for our seaside retreat in Spain, and we begin to salivate thinking about the donuts that we're going to eat, we should never have to imagine our daily wonderment like young Marco. I hope that you all have an absolutely glorious day, and please pass along the hand sanitizer so we can get rid of the contamination that is passing through and making us all have to go home. Adios, go Tigers.
Thank you, Mr. Hibbert. I ask that we all give Claire, Kevin, and Mr. Hibbert one more round of applause. Thank you all for your attention. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Schneider.
Alright. Okay, I am wearing my donut police badge today.
Yeah.
So we are going to try to distribute the donuts a little bit differently and see if it goes a little faster this time. So if the coordinators could move to their locations where they were going to help us out, that would be great. I'm just going to give the directions and then I'll dismiss you if you could just wait a minute. We're going to have the freshmen go out and go to the right, and their donuts are going to be in front of the windows in the cask. The